Well, hello boys and girls. I just got in, haven't even turned the lights on yet. This is how bright it is, with 4 giant windows and windows on the garage doors. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, first thing on my list today, as I showed in my last vlog, I've got that webinar with Titan on Monday. Today's Saturday, so I got like 2 or 3 days. On Wi-Fi, it was a little spotty, a little dropout and cutty. I'm sure you saw that in the footage. So I want to run a wire, Cat5 wire, from like the hub area over there to my computer. Because I want to sit in the shop. I think it's a cool atmosphere. I think I want to do this. It's a little echoey in here, but whatever. The longest cord I could find so far reaches to there. Not to there. And I want to stand in front of the Kern, or I want to sit there. When they built, not necessarily the building, but they built out this whole mezzanine office area not too many years ago. They put cabling everywhere. Like you can see up here, there's Cat5 cable there. There's this drop ceiling, whatever you call it. I call it office ceiling. Tons of cables up there. They run to a couple of the security cameras that go around, and so obviously I can't use those. But Fraser was telling me upstairs there's a whole bunch of stuff. Upstairs. Okay, more drop ceiling. See, like he's got one for his computer there. I think he said light switch is over here for that office. Weird. Yeah, there's cables everywhere. Like this one going down in the corner, and they go somewhere. So I'm trying to find a 100-footer, or maybe a connector, like a split connector. Yeah, because I know they're here. Anyway, that's the first thing I'm working on today. Okay, this is promising. Because this one here goes out into the shop, and I can see it drop down by the entrance area, by the garage door down there. It does nothing. So how long... What's going on here? It's like a puzzle. Okay, this one that I'm pulling on is that one in the corner. Now, I mean, I don't want to strip all the cables out of the rooms, because having a wired connection per room is a great idea. But if there's anything like freely available, I want it. Check this out. So some things you don't even notice until you're looking. So I go into Barry's office, and there's like 5 cables hanging right there. All right. This one's stuck under the ceiling thing. I can't. I'm up against the table here. If only I had some sort of reaching device. Oh, that's better. All right, here's where I'm at. I found 3 cables. 1, 2, 3. 2 of them are the exact same length. One of them is like 10 feet longer, maybe a bit more. It gets me to there. I kind of wanted to get to there. I don't have a coupler adapter thing, and I checked online inventory. You know, a lot of the stores here are still closed, only curbside pickup. They say they're out of stock of 100-foot cables in a lot of the computer stores around here. There's 50-foot cables everywhere, but like a butt-to-butt connector, whatever you call that, a splicer, coupler, is probably what I need to get, and then that would be easy. Anyway, let's move on. I found another cable. It goes to here. I want it to go to here. I'm this short. Maybe I can move the hub or router or whatever it is 4 feet outward. So close. All right. Now I can properly put those cables away. I labeled them all. 2 50-footers, 1 65-footer, custom made, and then 1 75-footer. Yeah, now at least we know how long they are. Anyway, I think probably why I fell into that rabbit hole so deep is, you know, you got this itch, you gotta scratch this itch, you're not happy until it's done, or at least until the itch is scratched, whether that's done or not. not only do I want the cable here so that I can film here for the webinar with Titan, but I've also been thinking about networking like all the machines. So it would be nice to have the Kern wired into the network so that I can transfer files, you know, from Fusion or Camplete or whatever directly to the machine without having to plug the USB stick. And same goes for all of the machines. For the Mori, for the Tornos, the Nakamura, even the two UMAX, I can do that. So it's kind of been in my mind the past week or so, like stringing cable across the whole shop. Possibly wirelessing them. I don't think that's as good of an idea. I forget. I haven't done too much research lately on networking machines, but there's some options for sure. Anyway, so today I spent the morning at home, so I didn't get into the shop till the early afternoon, and I told my wife as I was leaving, I was like, I love you, but I will not be home for dinner. I'm gonna stay a little bit later tonight, maybe a lot later, hopefully not till like midnight or something, but I got some work to do today and I don't know how long it's gonna take. So today I have basically 2 mega goals. Let's make a Rask blade on the Kern. Let's do that first, get it started up and warmed up, and let's get that done. I wanna see that happen. And then I gotta move to the Tornos and I gotta reprogram the way we make thumb studs, and I gotta do them, I gotta flip the whole thing so that different stuff happens on each side. And then I gotta thread mill the threads instead of single point tapping them, or single point threading them, which has not been successful in the past. So those are the 2 big things. If I can make traction or hopefully completion on both of those, I'll be solid today. Here I've got some of the tools that I need to mount up right now. You got a 1/16 flat, you got my double corner radius, you got 2 Zadaro tools. Now Zadaro, like I mentioned before, is the same as Milterra, same as Camplete actually, the simulation software. You know, that makes sure I don't crash this thing. So Zadaro, I've been getting kind of some testers, and we've been purchasing production tooling from them too. And I'm spending some time familiarizing myself with their naming convention, how they name all of their tools. And it's really interesting, kind of starting to break it down and understand not only how intricate and complex they can be, but how we can formulate our own tooling for our needs based on their processes. You know, length, diameter, fluid rake, radius, all kinds of stuff. And they make some really, really killer tools that I've been having a lot of fun with, like this guy right here. So this is a 1/4 inch shank, neck super taper, like long taper neck, down to a 93 thou, very stubby ball. We do a lot of engraving with this, a lot of, well, I can't say a lot on the Kern yet, but so far I've used this tool a lot. A lot of surfacing, a lot of contouring, a lot of really intricate stuff, serial number engraving, things like that. And been really, really liking it. These tapered shank tools, they add a lot of strength based on the rigidity, and they add a lot of reach too. So if you got to get in somewhere tight, awesome. So I need more like that. And even these guys, so it's a 1/4 inch end mill, but it's on a 3/8 inch shank. So you're holding it, you know, here, or even if you have to stick it out for whatever reason for reach, you have extra strength up to the taper down, and then you have your 1/4 inch, as opposed to trying to hang out a 1/4 inch end mill like long, like we sometimes have to do, and then you just have more possibility for deflection as you're machining. So the stubbier the better, and doing these taper shank tools kind of lets you cheat that. So I'm going to use this one as a finisher, and I'm going to use this one as a rougher to cut the blade. This one's actually a chip breaking rougher. So a lot of times chip breaking, let's see if I can get this. I don't know if we'll be able to see it. It's kind of dirty for my, or maybe that's just shiny. So it's a wavy form, not necessarily, chip breakers often are like little gashes, little extra cuts in there that make the chip shorter. This one kind of waves up and down a little bit. So I'm going to use it because he asked me to, and I'm happy to. Cutting a Rask blade is not exactly going to put it through its paces, but it'll be a good rougher. And then I want to try this as a finisher, which is kind of a higher rake angle with a radius on the end that I'm going to plunge past anyway. and let's see how she does. Maybe it'll leave a really good finish. So like I was saying about production tooling, on the Mori when we make Norseman knives, we're using these custom-made tools from Zadaro as well. These ball mills are specially formulated, you know, cut angle, geometry stuff for the hard milling that we do on the Norseman blade. And then, so this is the rougher, the radius end mill, and then the ball end mill is our finisher. And these are all new ones, and then we plonk them upside down when they're done, when they're dead. Like fallen soldiers. Yeah, we really like them. Alright, so super quick, the first thing I have to do is I have to deepen this contour around the outside of the blade and the fixture, because one of those tools that I'm using has a corner radius. So in order for the radius to not cut into the part, I need to drop the tool below the radius. So I need to go below the part a little bit to be able to go around it with the sidewall of the tool, if that makes sense. So this needs to be deeper so that when the blade is on there, I can go past the blade and not dig into the fixture. So I've got a simple program. Go do that right now. Wait for it. There it is. I'm just going super slow because I'm only half paying attention while filming. I can't see nothing. Okay, let me turn the coolant off. I just like to creep in there and make sure that it does what it says it's gonna do. It does what I tell it to do. Almost done. Alright, that's a bit deeper. So now I can mount a water jet blade and my ugly clamp from last week. Kind of sweet how I can just tilt the table and lay it down flat. I'm oddly terrified right now that something's not going to fit. Like, oh, I didn't think about that. But no, everything's looking to line up great. Okay, need 2 more screws for those 2. Yeah, it's looking good. Go grab my awesome Sandvik torque wrench. In case anybody's wondering, we've got a Torx Plus bit on the end. Works great. Whew. I just looked at the clock and realized I haven't filmed anything in 5 hours. It's dark outside. I've got the back half of the shop lights turned off. Man, when it was super nice, like I spent half the day here with no lights on. It was amazing. But now I got the front half on and then the back half off. It's pretty sweet. I'm ready to make a blade, like ready. Like the code's on that USB stick right there. Transfer it onto the control, go slow, watch it. Pretty confident. Shouldn't be anything to worry about, but obviously I'll watch it. And yeah, let's make ourselves a blade here. Super duper successful. Woo! I did a whole run without having to stop it. That's amazing. That was good. 10-minute cycle time, including me slowing it down a little bit. That's excellent. That's good. I feel good. Let's take a look. Hand wheel. Go. Let's rotate that C around. Show me the blade. Alright, first thing I want to see is that engraving. Oh, it broke. The tool broke. It got like 3 letters of the Rask done. I am using a very sharp, pointy, I can't even see that it's broken, but I'll have to inspect that closer. Okay, whatever. I was going very fast, 40,000 RPM, and very fast. So, okay, whatever, I'll slow that down. Let's see, everything else looks good. Everything sounded, something's chattered and kind of vibrated a little bit. I don't know if it's the fixture itself. Like, you know, it's hollow, right? There's a wall there. And I don't know if it's the tooling or the tool holder, gauge length, a lot of variables. Even just the fixture, the fact that it's so far from attachment point, the fact that this is here, vibration, harmonics, whatever. But some of the, especially the roughing operations, sounded a little gross. Even cutting in the lock bar slot here with an 1/8" ball mill, something that sounds beautiful and quiet on the Mori, kind of chattered and made some gross noise here. So just some tweaking I got to play back and forth. Surprisingly, the double corner rounder sounded amazing. Usually that one sounds kind of angry on the Mori. It sounded so good, and it looks really good too. Okay, I'm gonna put a new engraver in, engrave the logo, or the whatever it's called, words, because I want it to be perfect, and then maybe I'll pull it off and take a real peek. Alright, so I pulled my engraving tool out. The tip is ever so slightly broken right off. Just for fun, I'll give you my speeds and feeds here. So we're going at 40,000 RPM, which apparently, according to a 10 thou ball diameter, is 100 surface feet per minute, which is low, but try to use all that RPM. And then 5/10 per tooth, which is, make sure we got a 2 tooth. See, we're even programmed for a 3 tooth, which is wrong. It's supposed to be a 2. What does that change? Okay, so it's a little bit heavier cut than I was expecting. But 60 inches per minute is flying for letters that are this big. Okay, actually they're like that big. It's too much back and forth in such a tiny, tiny little zone, even for such an amazing machine, I guess. So I'm just gonna slow that down. Slow that down again. RPM's probably fine. It's that feed rate. It's just, it's going like this. Literally that fast. And yeah, we'll slow it. So I'll flip it over. It's a double-sided tool. Let's go do that. Come on. I've been doing a lot of tools on this Regal Fix. I just haven't shown it. I can't do this with one hand holding the camera. Okay, I'm gonna hang it there. I should not hang it there. Usually I have 2 hands on it. Okay, and then I click ouch. Out button. This as I do more and more, there's more things I realize. Like, I'm gonna need a set of calipers here so that I'm not keep running, like my calipers are over there on my bench right now. Gonna need that. I'm probably also gonna need a list or a digital thing, a spreadsheet or whatever, with my tool stick out length. Because right now I have to go back into Fusion, I have to open it up, I have to be like, what was my stick out length? I don't remember, because I can't trust this one anymore. I've already loosened it. Yeah, so I need that. So just little things over and over as you keep doing them, you're like, what would make this easier? Let's do that. Okay, so let's flip her over. Boop. Make sure the other side is brand new. Yes, it is. And put it back together. Alright, so I'm checking the pivot hole diameter because I interpolated it with that bore toolpath. Quick and dirty test is a Norseman pivot, which is 1/870. The hole should be 1/875, so 5/10 bigger. And check this out, I thought this was kind of funny. It's springing because it's creating a little air cylinder inside, a little air pressure. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it's a super tight hole. It's actually doing it on the way down too. That's funny. You can see the air squishing out over here. But anyway, it means my hole is not too small. So maybe I'll get a 1/875 gauge pin and we'll check it. But it's close. It must be very, very close. I am going home now. It is 11 p.m. Far too late for good little boys like me to still be at work. But I've made 2 blades. Yeah! Little tweaks between the first one and the second one. There will be a few tweaks for the third one as well. And I'm getting closer. Everyone, I mean, they're close. They're good, but you know me. I think some of the things I overshot and then I need to pull it back a little bit. You know, just ever so slight little measurements up and down, side to side, whatever. But some of these are looking good. So I think both of these are heat treatable. And then I'll be back tomorrow, I'll make a couple more. And yeah, just get it closer and closer. And then once, this is great. Once they're through this, then they go through heat treat, then they go through lapping, then they come back to the machine, and then we get to work on putting the bevels in, the hard milling, and that'll be its own set of challenges. So I need a bunch of blades for that, to test that. So yeah, it's epic. Epic, epic, epic. Okay. But yeah, that's it for today. Later.